Hello, Ben here from Supercoach Insider, bringing you my team into round 6. Before I move on, please do like, subscribe, give us a shout out as well. SC Insider 100. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, all the audio platforms as well. Shout out for all the love this week. Pineapples. Look, I've been struggling post-COVID, everyone. So I've just been fatigued, whether it's because I've had glandular fever before, but I've been well and truly cooked, struggling to get through the day at the moment. So shout out to anyone that has gone through it previously. And pineapples. So I had a little bit of whiskey the other day to keep myself awake in our long 2-hour pod. Kind of caught up to me, but also shout out as well. So today brought to you by splashvodka.com.au. I'm going to crack open one of these bad boys now. I really like this orange and passion fruit flavor. Also earnu.io as well. I'm going to be going on in doing another video after this. So if you're interested in cryptocurrency and new other platforms, come and check it out after this. I've lost all my bets so far. The first two, Port Adelaide screwed me. This one I was going to win, but Richmond lost to Adelaide. It's a crazy world that we're in. Speaking of crazy worlds, literally just had a look at the teams. I thought I would do it tonight because that way the teams just dropped and there's surprises out there. Speaking of surprises, so when we talk about last week, I scored 2,181. I knew I would slide a little bit. I kept Patrick Cripps. The big question, everyone's like, did you get Aaron Hall, Ben? Did you get Aaron Hall, Ben? I avoided that bullet like the plague. Like, oh my God, hands down, no thank you at all. And if there was the one reason, and that's all I needed not to pick Aaron Hall, and it was the fact that he had some tests during the week and his hamstrings weren't feeling that great, and came out and did a hamstring. So I'm so glad I dodged that bullet. At that point, I kind of considered, hey, maybe it's like a free roll. I get to kind of keep Bowie now. But then what I wanted to do last week, so I did slide a little bit to 1,208 rankings overall. So it's going to be an interesting one here. So when we bring up my team, so you might notice in the defensive line here, everyone, I've got a little bit of a surprise packet. So let me just undo these changes for you real quick. So Doherty, I brought Doherty into my side. So what I wanted to do is I felt as if I didn't get Doherty, then he was going up in price, realistically speaking, and he also has the first buy. So it was either if I get him now or I don't get him at all. The other option was as well, I was kind of waiting to wait on Whitfield for a week. And if he didn't do well, then I could easily go and bring in O'Driscoll or Dacos into my defensive line and then upgrade Whitfield. Now, that was a strong possibility because there are 4 players on that first buy. So Short, Doherty, Hewitt, and Whitfield all have the first buy. So I didn't want 4 of them. And that was kind of the option I was tossing up. Now, I was interested in obviously going and just trying to think of his bloody name, Steele. I was a little bit short of getting Steele. I could only afford like Bontempelli and around that sort of bracket, so I wasn't quite sold on that. So what I'm looking at doing with my team at the moment is I'm pretty happy with like McCartan's still here making some cash, right? So when we kind of look at the break-evens, the only break-even that I'm really a little bit concerned about is Horn Francis, more because he's on field. But this week's throwing some curveballs because Tommy English, Tim English is out of the team this week, injured. I don't even know where the hell that came from. So that's a big issue. I think I blame Swizz, who brought in English last week. If you were thinking English this week, you've just bought yourself a week and some points on field. So it's going to be an interesting one here. So basically the nice, easy option for me, and also Dixon's injured as well, so he's out, which means I actually have some loophole options to run with this week. The easy one for me is I'll be able to go Hayes as the Friday night game. So if he does really well, then I can put Dixon on the field or something like that and swing Martin into that midfield, and then everything frees up a little bit. So I've got some loopholes this week. Mead is definitely on my kind of shit list that I was considering getting rid of, and it still might be the case because I wasn't sure what I was going to do this week. I was thinking, I've got Mead. Hopefully he gets dropped so I can have a loophole, not realizing that Dixon, English, and Mead all get dropped. What do you do? So on the plus side, though, I think the easiest one for me is a VC on McRae. I'm not quite sure who to captain at this point in time. I think Neil could definitely go well in that sense. Patrick Cripps has been named, so I'm waiting to kind of see how that eventuates. So basically what I am looking at doing is probably going and putting the... Oh, so Hinge didn't get named. Okay, well, Hinge can get out of my side. There you go. There you go. Hinge can go. So that's 2 weeks in a row. Oh, that's nice. Hinge has to get out of my side. Berry's on the extended bench, so I'm not that worried about that. He will play. I would hope. You would hope he would play. So pretty much what I'm looking at is going Roses from Gold Coast and getting him into my side. And I was looking at going Whitfield to Petrarca just to kind of balance that out. Now I'm not so sure. And I'll explain my reasoning last week, right? So Patrick Cripps was out. And it's one of those situations where I wanted to upgrade Bowie. I know he wasn't going to be the worst. Like, I actually spoke about how I think he goes 80 to 100 because GWS leak points to defenders. But I wanted to upgrade. Now, I thought I might need the trades this week. So I didn't want to use a boost if I could help it. So therefore, I'd just go a week earlier. I had the cash there to do it. Plus, with a premium sitting out, I feel much better upgrading a player to another premium and at least balancing my team as far as premiums on field. Because if Cripps doesn't play, then I'm like, cool, I'll just play a rookie. But then I should try and upgrade, if I can, a rookie to a premium. So that's pretty much what I did last week. I was hoping to just kind of go Whitfield up to, say, a Petrarca this week. But with English out, it now makes things a little bit more interesting. I might actually get a little bit more creative with it this week. If I can go, say, a Hinge, a Mead, and like a Horn Francis maybe, if I can get a premium out of that, then I would use a boost. And again, the reasoning is, right, so Cripps is back into my side. I obviously upgraded last week, so now I should have an extra premium on field. But with English out, if I can do another upgrade, then basically when he comes back in, I'll have 2 more premiums on field than I did last week. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So whereas Whitfield I definitely want to get rid of, but it was one of those situations where, do you know what I mean? It's like if I could turn Whitfield into 2, a premium, and then go a Hinge and a Horn Francis to a premium, then I think it makes sense. But I don't know if there's enough meat on the bone to do that. So I might have to kind of use the 3 rookies and just hope Whitfield comes good. Break even of 100. I don't think he's going to go too low beyond that point. He kind of chips away the 80s and 90s. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe he will bounce back. And I don't really want to sideways a premium if I have a premium out. And that's kind of really what's changed my strategy this week, because Whitfield sucks, yes, but he's also a premium who does have the potential. I would rather keep him on field than a Horn Francis who might go 30 or might go 100. And I think Whitfield's copped so much criticism this week that I think his effort probably has to be there. It's one of those ones where he's been noticed. They might even look to get him through the midfield a little bit more. If he comes out and plays forward this week, then obviously he has to go because he's not the best player in that element. So I guess we'll wait and see there. So, all right, so Hinge can go. So McCartan... So if I get rid of Hinge, let's go and throw Dacos now back into defence. So that I feel much better now. I got McCartan there, a Dacos and O'Driscoll. So that everything looks pretty good there. Actually, I should probably switch that out and go Whitfield back into defence. Just because it's probably going to make a little bit of sense in that element. And what it means is I might actually go a little bit early this week. Not because I really wanted to, but... just because it might actually help get me somewhere. Now, 623,000. Oh, if only I could afford a Heaney, which wouldn't be good. But, oh, jeez. Okay, Chris already spoke about this. I need to activate a boost if I'm going to do it before I do it. So, all right. So let's go and trade out Hingy. And let's swap in Whitfield back in the defensive line so he can stay there for the week. O'Driscoll, McCartan. Yeah, look, the defensive line I'm pretty happy with there. Dacos can stay here for the meantime. Mead can get out my side just because I think he's kind of dead in the water at the moment with Wines sort of coming back. I would like to get rid of Hayes, but obviously he's probably my next week or the week after. Same as Dixon injured. I haven't heard much about that injury, so I don't think it's too long-term. Otherwise, it would have been spoken about more this week. Same as English. Maybe just short turnaround. Maybe they just didn't get up for that. So I guess we'll wait and see there. All right, so if I get rid of Horn Francis, Martin I don't actually mind being on the field. So if Martin comes back into that mix, then I don't mind him sort of on field there. Ideally, English would be in that forward situation. We might have to play. I guess I can loophole between Roses anyway. So forwards, let's go Roses. Get him in there. I don't like his price, but I shouldn't complain because he's done well. So there's one. Geez, the only one I'd really like to bring in early is probably Hayes from Port Adelaide. Now, the issue that creates is I've already got all these forward rucks sort of on my field. So it's going to create a little bit of a situation because I've already got Martin and Dacos here. I'm happy with them on field. Hayes, I think, will do well, but I can loophole and put Dixon on the field for Roses, so that kind of balances out. I had Bruce from the start, so I don't really need to use the trades there, but it does create a bit of an issue. And the issue is that the only way for me to free up and bring in Hayes as a ruckman, English has to push forward, and I am literally kind of forced to trade one of those rucks or move say a Brody into that midfield, but then it might create some issues. So definitely not the worst situation in the world, but then I'd have Brody up in the midfield with such a stacked midline. I know what people are saying about Matty Rowell as well, but again, I'd rather him. I think he's trying to get that balance between inside and outside. He still has a high ceiling. I know his break-even's 100, right? But even if he goes 90, he flattens out at 400, right? So I'm not too concerned. Like, I know it's not great, and I know a lot of people jumping early, but he still has a high ceiling, and he's still not the worst player on my team at the moment. Whereas Horn Francis, I'd rather have a Rowell on my team, and he's only about $90,000 more, right, with a high ceiling, and yes, he hasn't done well, but he's still more reliable than Horn Francis, and for $310,000, Horn Francis can get out of my side. Now, I know he has a little bit of cash to make, but I'm talking about those variances as far as points overall. I'm trying to get rid of the people that can go 30 and 100. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can do you well for a week, but also they can really hurt your overall sort of progression. So, if you have them on field that week. So, the only way I can really do is if I kind of do take a hit this week as far as I'll have to play Hayes on field, but I think I'll probably leave that. The only other one I do like is probably Clark. Now, it's kind of a bit not the smartest move in the world. So if I got rid of Mead, what would I have? I wouldn't even have that much. If I could keep Mead, yeah, 492,000. So that's not enough. I mean, I could afford Parker, but I want to see. I don't think he's even named, is he, in Sydney? If Stevens, Franklin, Wicks. No, he's not named. So I want to see Papley in that side before I kind of make that move. Clark from West Coast is a loopholing option that I could use. Now, why would I want to use a loopholing player when I've already got Mead? It's a good question. But again, I'm trying to kind of take that risk as far as getting that extra premium in my side this week. Everything will probably balance out the week after, so I am considering Dixon's price. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot more money to make, doesn't he? So that's going to hurt me. -25. Yeah, so I mean, it's the whole Roses being a forward only kind of hurts me a little bit. The other option is I literally lose that trade boost, don't I? My God. All right. Trade boost, let's go. So again, this is a work in progress, more because of the fact that I only just saw the teams, and everyone now is probably trying to look at something similar as far as, you know, what to do with your side. Now, I don't think I'm going to like this as much because I'd have to play Roses on field for this week, for 1 week, before I kind of trade out maybe Hayes for someone else and then be able to bring, say, a Brody back into my midfield line. So I don't really like it too much because I'd have Martin on the bench, Brody on... No, that's not going to work. Dacos... I guess I could have Dacos over O'Driscoll and have him on the bench, but that's not going to really look too good. McDonald's an emergency, is he? Okay, so what's going on here? Extended bench, Scrimshaw, Jaeger O'Meara, McDonald, Warple. Okay, so he should still play with that sort of mix there. We won't find that out until Saturday, will we? So, yeah, I guess McDonald has been a little bit upsetting as well. So, anyway, that's the situation that we're in at the moment. Again, if I could, I know it's not going to be the best solution in the world. but I could almost go and bring in. The only one I would want to go in early on is probably Hayes from Port Adelaide. I know it's not ideal with Dixon and everything else there. Again, I might even just have to cut my losses on that one. We'll see. And we'll go and bring in Roses. So again, this is all just about me trying to maximize 572. And oh, you are kidding. You are kidding. I would be literally short of Petrarca by, a few thousand. Right, well, fuck this podcast. Let's try again, everyone. That's not going to work. I could bring in a Heaney, I guess, but then that's another forward into that mid spot. So this is a situation, everyone. I'll explain what I was going to do, and it was pretty much going to be Whitfield out. It was pretty much going to be Whitfield out and Horne-Francis out, and I was going to bring in Roses with Martin coming into that midfield mix and literally going, and it would have been Petrarca, because I'm pretty keen on Petrarca this week, and also going and bringing in Roses. So that's pretty much my plan and what I was thinking. That's what I might have to do, and just take the fact that, again, I know it's hard because I want to upgrade this week if I can, because I have a premium out. I guess because I upgraded last week and I have Cripps coming back, then I do have an extra premium, and everyone's kind of looking at upgrading now anyway, so it kind of balances out. I can loophole him. Hopefully the Hayes can then come onto the field. Everything else pretty much runs as per usual. Petrarca can come on field. Martin, he doesn't play until pretty late anyway, so I could probably try and loophole someone to use Martin if I can, and use that sort of Mead loophole to sort of see who I can use in that element. And that's pretty much about it, everyone. So I think Hayes will get on field. Bruce I'm happy with there. Everything else looks pretty good. And I think that way I've got 112,000, and next week Clary's on my list, and I can do it that way. Again, you can't always win, but again, I hope you can see at least the logic that if you have a premium out, try and upgrade and keep those premiums. All I've done is pretty much switch Whitfield with a Petrarca, better buy structure, and get a better premium in, so that maybe nets me maybe 30 to 40 more points this week. And it's definitely going to be with that, particularly with the rookies on field. Whereas the first option that we kind of looked and dived down, having to play Roses and Hayes this week in the forward line and missing out on like a day cost or something and Martin in the midfield, would probably cost me more points than that. So it's probably not worth me doing it that way. This looks a little bit more like what I was looking at originally. The other option is that now that De Boer's not playing Friday night, I am considering Steele just as the higher up premium, Steele and then Clayton Oliver, and kind of going about it that way. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Petrarca and Clary are the way to go, or whether you think maybe I should just spend up a little bit more this week, make some moves next week with the boost, save a boost up my sleeve, and go Steele with Clary. Petrarca, Clary, Steele, or Clary. Let me know what you think over the next 2 weeks. And talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.